Guys, I was saying, I want to like you comment, national videos, from Fiifi Kwetey, NDC, American, or General Secretary, Abamonte, so Eddie Sembi, Abetuja. Yanitia, and baby, what in Sembi, Abetuja, a NDC, American, HSA, or the new policy be by HSA. Say, oh yeah, I buy appointees. Now why you want to say pay for position be our NDC, American national chairman, presidential candidates, a whole lot of position, general secretary, and those kind of position. It was will resign 6 months before say elections. Now say a year or mobile call a year voting, and I say or mobile voting, and yeah, the na ene de Fiifi Kwetey asansi enzemne so kana asaba monte so asaba kana bio busia amanfo bi no mu a omukwa ekura position bi no Ghana fo bebre na ebusa say omo be resign and say omo enko for like a whole lot and a consentie mo na enkotie ensem bi
well, in the season the new patriotic party in penifo bebre na AUMT some person contested for. Of course, the national chairman of the new patriotic party, the national vice chairman, the general secretary of the new patriotic party, national organizer, national youth organizer, national women's organizer, various portfolios, and in Confusīon na AUMT some contested within the new patriotic party. The major headline last week, a strong contender for national chairman of the new patriotic party, Chairman Entry Boysiako, Judge Justice Confusīon, sentenced to 20 years imprisonment. Yenim how ebe influence the vetting at the National Council and as at the national headquarters of the new patriotic party, heading into the elections for national executives of the new patriotic party. But yebe dani akwa the National Democratic Congress. Heat bi so ebru wo hopa na heat no emotion but etete sumase kakran na ebe yi na pie baako Fiifi Kwetey General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress or a strong firebrand ukomu Fiifi Kwetey apparently say on fact the guidelines of the National Democratic Congress on to na sekora only why obe follow strongly the guidelines of the National Democratic Congress, even to the point to say omo ensure say omo national chairman time na opese utia imbraso na oko on their own campaign as a strong contender for presidential candidate and as a flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress. Omofa kwan bi so involve the Council of Elders of the National Democratic Congress. Ema omotena ase ehwe kwan ya ono nso ontia imra of the National Democratic Congress. Into the guidelines, principles of the National Democratic Congress. Omudi ye juma papa. Na Fiifi Kwetey ejina imra bi so a ebubo nkrofo bi pa in the current government of President John Dramani Mahama. And then he can was the National Democratic Congress so baba year branch elections. No makoye constituency executive elections. Na omasa so national officers of the NDC to say same way like the new patriotic party. But as far as abai monintino guideline bia say diswa. Ebu bompophobia ha affected butomni interest power. And yes, it will be the end of position in government heading into the 2028 elections. One assembly was the NDC were guideline requires all government appointees person serving as a party executive resign 6 months prior to internal elections. Into elections never so on the December 2026 time no anka by this time guys here to say resign Sebekoso January 2027 kesi eti se omo resign ebekoso March 2027 esi eti se by September na impenifo we na resign from government office positions and sana ometimi akwa peke forms akase omo cover vetting eyomuti some person either national communication officers or person general secretaries of the National Democratic Congress or person the national chairman, national vice or any other position. It is a national women's organizer. Nasa rule we are guideline here by in for ben ebuabo mo omoye serious lobbying says our guideline here be mo kwan no ometimi hold you onto omo juicy positions omo da sukuru still na no makwa alpha forms say omo pese omo ye vetting for these various positions say na ya so mo onya position e kura pa kan ken omeden ombetimi hold onto this government appointee position for the next 6 months. But if you are going to say any idea of a one ne can wasem key among them Samuel Jemfi aka Sammy Jemfi. The juicy position one of the most envied position in government right now or yet chief executive officer of the Ghana Gold Board. Chief executive officer of the Ghana Gold Board as acting chief executive officer of the Ghana Gold Board not as a result say or member of parliament. Member of parliament they won't even say resigning from the position of member of parliament. But from the position of the National Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress. Enti se opese okobium now represented the NDC as the National Communications Officer for 2028 for the next presidential candidate and as a flag bearer of the NDC. Also resigning as Gold Board CEO and sana wakopeke form. Enti Sammy Jemfi decision also making it say one also moshe say obi ti say chairman Asiedun Ketia and the flag bearer of the NDC. Sammy Jemfi is he well positioned idea he is interested in still being the National Communications Officer for the NDC as chairman Asiedun Ketia the flag bearer of the National Democratic. Okay, some negotiations now koso. Na yes Sammy Jemfi kwana sa juicy position so trading in so or standing in as a national executive officer of the NDC. Another individual so na deputy national communications officer to Sammy Jemfi CEO for Youth Employment Agency. I'm friend the Basintele boy in the NDC, Malik Basintele so per se either say or graduated in the National Communications Officer and as still now or maintaining as a deputy National Communications Officer of the NDC, also resigning as the CEO of Youth Employment Agency. Someone resigning a party say new faces within the NDC contesting for this position because Malik Basintele person or resigning 6 months to internal elections. Other individuals so say Jumai affect or you be to say Godwin Eduji Tamaklo. Now Godwin Eduji Tamaklo position of holding in the NDC at the national office now Director of Legal Affairs. Now position Godwin Tamaklo holding currently another top position as the head of the National Petroleum Authority. Still now, person the director of legal affairs also resigning as the head of the National Petroleum Authority. No wonder, say President John Dramani Mahama has started to say or hint to say a lot of reshuffling by the course within the government now because a bit taking the decision. So back to the NDC head office contested for these national positions. While sir ebema position in the government now are currently vacant. Almost replace not forgetting Mustafa Bande. Mustafa Bande Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. And also as executive head of Logistics Board State Agency. And also as direct individual Juma under General Secretary Fiifi Kwetey no or resigning either so but also indicate say Kianeke or person call Bill as the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC inti enya dia or person contested for the General Secretary position because Fiifi Kwetey am maintaining say that same portfolio and already or person oko. Now here another one so Madam Hannah Bisu the National Women's Organizer of the NDC and also head of Public Health Authority EPA inti also per se or also contested as the National Women's Organizer yes or resigning or from the EPA and Sana witimi ako back to the office. Is it that we decided that and I say obe maintain say ope say oyeden otna sa position because omu the power inti reshuffle ni hit koso no enye asam keto. Not forgetting Joseph Yamin, National Organizer of the NDC and also board chairman of Ghana Sports Authority so and also say oyeden or resigning and I say obeying or be holding on to the position key decisions and Sami Jemfi, George Pariado, Dr. Hannah Bisu, Joseph Yamin, Mustafa Bande, Malik Basintele, and many others in President Mahama's government heading into the 6 months to the vetting and I say national executive positions within the NDC. Yabesha the ebe happen heading into the position. But I'm making it clear. Say bettina betting of the NDC now on submitted official resignation letter enya dia ombema kwine. You'll be totally disqualified for the next portfolio decision heading into the 2028 election decision of Ghana for the president of Ghana.